sir.
Taken down. Beautiful. Nobody handles assassination attacks like me. Nobody.
Now here on the program, where shots rang out at the venue hosting the annual White House Correspondents Dinner with Donald Trump in attendance. The U.S. president was in the front of the crowd, on stage there, along with the First Lady and other White House officials. After shots were heard in the distance, officers moved in to guard the stage, provide cover, and move out the president. Some footage right here from the event. Chaos did ensue pretty quickly. The police say they detained the assailant and provided information on the weapons he was carrying.
At approximately 8:36 tonight, an individual charged a U.S. Secret Service checkpoint here in the lobby area of the hotel. He was armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives. As he ran through that checkpoint, members of law enforcement from the United States Secret Service intercepted that individual. This is a very preliminary investigation at this point. We do know that law enforcement exchanged gunfire with the individual. We do know that a U.S. Secret Service uniformed division officer was struck in his vest. He was transported to a local hospital for treatment. He seems to be in good spirits at this time.
The suspect opened fire on the security checkpoint. Now, at that point, inside the hotel ballroom, you had over 2,600 people that had assembled for the dinner. They started diving under the tables, panicking. And at that point, the President of the United States, the First Lady, the Vice President, J.D. Vance, as well as members of the cabinet who were up at the front table, were rushed out of the scene by the Secret Service officers. Now, the Secret Service engaged the shooter, and he was apprehended. He is alive at this point in the custody of U.S. law enforcement. The name that is being given is Cole Tomas Allen. He's 31 years old, a resident of Torrance, California. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel spoke to the press afterwards, along with U.S. President Donald Trump, and he urged anyone with information about this shooter to immediately contact the FBI. Here's what he said.
If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started. And we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country.
Now, Donald Trump was still in his tuxedo when he spoke to the press about the incident, and he praised the Secret Service for how effectively they did their jobs. He described the individual as a sick person. And also, Donald Trump used the moment to emphasize what he's been calling for, which is a new ballroom added to the White House. Now, it's interesting that when Donald Trump was asked if he believed the incident had anything to do with Iran, he said he didn't. He didn't believe that there was any connection between this assassin and the Islamic Republic. However, he did say that the incident would not deter him from winning the war against Iran. This is Trump responding to the question.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know.
This is yet another assassination attempt against U.S. President Donald Trump. There was the famous incident in Butler, Pennsylvania, where Donald Trump was injured in his ear. There was the individual who had mysterious connections to Ukraine, who was caught outside of his hotel or his estate in Mar-a-Lago. And there have been other incidents of individuals who appeared to have been threatening or moving against U.S. President Donald Trump. This is an an incident that has certainly caught the United States by surprise, and it appears that what is an annual tradition, the White House Correspondents Dinner, in which comedians get up and tell jokes, sometimes roast the President of the United States, while many prominent government officials and media personalities look on. It looks like that event is not happening. That event was canceled because a shooter charged and opened fire on the Secret Service checkpoint.
Meanwhile, people at the event have questioned the state of security, with some claiming that metal detectors and other safety measures were really quite absent there.
We mentioned to each other that security seemed lax. We had tickets, and that was all we needed to get into the hotel itself. Showed it at the door. Yeah, come in.
The altercation effectively happened, which is what it is. So up until that point, there is no security, particularly. You do have to present a ticket to get down those escalators. So it'd be interesting to see how he managed to bypass that. We know he was a guest in the hotel, of course.
How did somebody get a gun into the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Honestly, as somebody who went, there was no security. You just showed your ticket and you were able to completely get in. There was just no pat-downs, no metal detectors, nothing going on. So really horrible setup, and I just don't even understand how that was a thing.
So the suspect has been ID'd as a Cole Thomas Allen. He graduated from the California Institute of Technology in 2017 with a degree in mechanical engineering. December 2024, he won the Teacher of the Month award from a local education authority. And he's previously given money to a Democratic Political Action Committee, which reportedly donated to the presidential campaign of Kamala Harris. And former U.S. Army officer Stanislav Krapivnik is not entirely convinced the security at the event was up to the usual presidential standards. He also questions the official narrative being put out in Washington.
I find it very interesting that, considering the state of the police force in the U.S., and I'm talking about federal level, NSA, FBI, considering this is the heads of the government are there, and not only, that security was a joke. I mean, that's no other way to put it. It's an absolute joke. As people have mentioned, they got in with just the ticket. Was it a real ticket? They didn't mention whether it was even scanned. One person actually said all they did was wave the ticket and they were allowed through. This is ridiculous. This is security level that you would expect maybe in the 1800s, but even then. So this is something that does not add up at all in this. And the confusion that you hear from the different agents as they got their submachine guns out, they're trying to figure out where the shooter is, and they're all screaming in their mics, where's the shots coming from, which tells you there's no central control either. A central control would have identified through cameras and through contacts what area the shooting was in and would have passed that information on to any of the agents and all the agents located in the building. So this just seems like either it's a total collapse of security or a setup.